Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Toni, and I'm a homeschooling mom to 4 kids, and I am gonna give you an unbiased, honest look at the good and the beautiful, particularly their science units. We're gonna talk about science today. So if you've been curious whether these are good, worth your money, worth your time, then stay tuned. All right, so I'm gonna start off by just letting you guys know I'm not working with the good and the beautiful. I've actually never worked with the good and the beautiful, so this is my honest opinion. I give my honest opinion even when I do work with companies, but you just never know, so I'm gonna throw that out there. There are people that either love the good and the beautiful or hate the good and the beautiful, it seems like. And I haven't heard a whole lot of in between. I have used their language and I've used their science. As for the science, that's what I'm talking about today. I have 5 science units here that I'm gonna show you, ones that we've used. I'll give you a little peek into how those work. But here is what I think about the good and the beautiful science. You ready for this? I love it. Seriously, I love the good and the beautiful science. I used them for the first time a couple years ago, and I really loved it. And then for some reason, I don't remember why, but for some reason, I felt like we needed to do something else, so we switched to something else. And I came back to it this year because I love it. So I'm gonna share with you why I love it, because I really think they're awesome. So first thing is, it's set up as units. So their science, I think that is one of my favorite parts about it, because I don't know, when it comes to science for me, I like kind of a topical study. I like unit study when it comes to that. I don't do unit study in a ton of stuff in our homeschool, but I love it for science. So what I have done, the first year I picked what units I thought would be fun for us and engaging and what we thought we'd like. The last time we did it with them, I went on the website, I showed my girls, for reference, I have 4 kids. I'll share their grades because they're all in between those ages where they're about to go up to the next one and then it gets confusing. I have an 8th grader, a 6th grader, and a 4th grader. Those are all the girls. And then I have a 1st grader that's a boy. I showed it to the girls and I said, go ahead and pick what you guys want to do. I think it might have been 2 years ago when we did it. And I think last year was the year we took off. But when we did it, I was like, go ahead and pick 4, I think maybe 3 units. I think I said to go ahead and pick 3 units so each of them got to pick one. So that was really neat because it was like, well, I want to do this one. Well, I want to do this one. And then when it came time to do the unit, they're the one that picked it. So they were so excited. So they're like, oh, this is the one I wanted to do. So that's the cool part. I think if you've got, well, even if you have 1 kid, let them be a part of picking which units you want to do. Some people say you can do up to 4 units in a year. We do not fly through science like that. We typically do it once, maybe twice a week, depending. I don't know. This year have decided I have enjoyed doing 1 long lesson on Tuesdays, and that is how we've done science. But there's other times where we've done it a couple days a week. So we typically do a couple units a year. I have bought more and then we never got through all of them. So that's up to you and your family's pace of how many units you would pick. But so you just pick your topic of what you want to do. My first favorite part is that it's unit studies. You can choose what topic your kid is interested in, what topic you want to teach, kind of all together. Like, what does everybody want to learn about? Because you don't have to pick something completely boring that you don't want to teach. You can kind of find something that everybody loves. And I think that's awesome. The second thing that I absolutely love about it is that it's super engaging. It is like a lot of the stuff from the good and the beautiful. They've got full color pictures all throughout. They've got little booklets that come with the unit. So it's not just reading a textbook. It's got a part that you read together. It usually has a little booklet that you put together. I'll show you an example of, here's one from when we did the human body. So they have little booklets like this, and you cut this out, and it's got all the stuff that you read throughout the book, full color. It's so much more engaging than, I don't know, there's something about it that is that's more engaging, being like a little booklet. I don't know, I kind of like it. I don't know how to describe what that is, but rather than just like reading in a textbook, which could have the same exact thing, having these little, let's pull out this booklet, and I don't know, my kids like it. So they have stuff like that. They have tons of printables. I'll show you some of the stuff because I've got the human body one here right in front of me. They've got all kinds of different pieces. This one had a game that we did that had to do with what we were learning. It has all kinds of different like printable pieces and things like that. This one I think was part of the game. It's got all kinds of vocabulary words. And here's another book that we read. But it makes it very engaging when you've got all these different parts and pieces to it. Here's the game. There's the game that we did. And we used those pieces with it. But it's really neat how they set it up. I just find that very engaging. And I think even for the little ones that maybe wouldn't be as interested if we pulled out a human body, textbook and read out of it, I guarantee my son probably would not sit still and listen. But he really liked this. And the other part is they always have some sort of experiment with each lesson. And my kids love that. Sometimes a couple, sometimes 2 or 3 experiments that come with each lesson. So I love that. It also has usually some sort of worksheet or something that goes along with that and just kind of keeps them engaged. I think it's really great. That's the second point. The third one that I absolutely love is it is God-centered. In science, I think that's very important for things to be pointed back to God, to the Creator, and this absolutely is. I have not run into anything that went against what we believe. We're born again, Bible-believing Christians, and I've agreed with everything that I've read. I have not run into any problems in their science unit. So I absolutely love that. So I think that is super, super important. The fourth thing that's really cool that I love about their science units is that it is so easy to teach as a family. Raise your hand if you like doing family subjects. I love it. It took me many years to realize how much I really love it. I've done subjects together, group subjects, since the beginning. It wasn't really until the last couple years that I realized how important and how valuable group subjects, family subjects, whatever you want to call it, can be when you have a large family. I've got 4 kids. If I was teaching 4 different sciences, mom is stretched by having to do that. You can't really pour as much time into teaching 4 different science and 4 different history and 4 different math and all this stuff. That's a lot. So if you can pick a subject or 2 to teach as a family, I love that you can do that. And the cool part is the science units can be, now I think it says K to 8. I absolutely think I'm just going to base this on my son because he's in 1st grade. He didn't have any interest really at all last year. So I think kindergarten's a little bit of a stretch because it's not like fluffy science stuff. This is real science that they're going into. But I do think 1st grade has been fine. He has sat still with us in 1st grade and has done the experiments with us, and he's done the worksheets. He's done really great. So I would say it's more like 1st through 8th. And the cool part is it's easy enough to teach for a 1st grader all the way up to 8th grade. You can beef it up however you want for your 7th grader and 8th grader, for your middle school students. They have in every single lesson something for the older students. So I'm going to read you what this is. This is how it looks. This is on lesson 1 of the human body one. So I'm going to read you what this little thing says, but it's always got an older children lesson extension. So this says, have the older children, grades 7 through 8, research and write a 5-paragraph paper describing the hierarchical, how do you say that? The hierarchical order of the human body. This should include a description of the 3 main levels of organization within the body: cells, tissues, and organs, and the relationship between them. That is plenty to me. After they've done their worksheets, after we've gone over vocabulary words, after we have I've read the lesson and taught the lesson to them, and we've done everything together, then assigning that, kind of like I usually assign it as homework, and I haven't done this every time, but sometimes I assign one of those assignments to my older girls or just to my oldest. I think it's plenty, and I love that. I love that I don't have to think about it and be like, okay, we learned about this. What could I assign as just a little bit more for my older girl? They've got it here. Let me find one more to give you an example. Okay, I'm going to give you one from that we just did the other day from the meteorology is this unit that we're doing right now. We're talking about seasons. This is lesson 2 in the meteorology unit. So we've got our whole lesson, and then at the end here, it's got what the extension is for the older students. So this gives you 2 options. It says have the older students do one of the following. Number 1 would be research and create a list of animals that hibernate. Write down what they do to prepare for hibernation, how long they hibernate, and what processes their bodies go through during hibernation. I usually assign something like this, give them my laptop, say, go do some research, take notes, and then write it. And it's good. And they're learning more. I'll tell you what we do after they do that, but I'm going to read you the second option. The second one was research and write in detail how leaves lose their color in autumn and what causes them to fall from the trees. So I could be like, oh, my older daughter, why don't you do the research, the 8th grader, you do the research on the hibernation, give me all that. And maybe assign to my younger daughter, my 6th grader, I might assign her, I don't always give her extra ones because she is in 6th grade, but I sometimes do if I'm like, oh, why don't you go ahead and do this too? But here's what I do. Afterwards, I have them read whatever they did for their research project or whatever they had to do for their extra assignment, not just turn it into me, but read it to us, teach it to us. So then we're learning too, and they get to teach it. You've got some public speaking in there. So it's great. I love it. I love that aspect of it. And it, I think, just rounds everything out. So great. So that is one of my other top favorite things. So those are really like my top favorite things about The Good and the Beautiful. So I'm going to show you what we've used before. They have a ton of units. I'll take a screenshot from their website and show you here all the different things that they have. But they have a lot of different units, and we have not done all of them. I just love it. I love it. And this is something I think we will continue to do for years to come, because I really feel like out of all the science that we've done, this is my favorite. I love it. And I will reuse some of these that we've done too. So I think one of the first ones that we did space science. So you get, I'll show you in a couple minutes because I have a new one that I got for next year, and I'm going to open it up in front of you guys. But so they give you the packet. You get a packet of paper, shrink wrapped together, or you can buy it and then print it at home, but we don't have a color printer. So I order it from them. They send it directly to me. So you put the front page inside of a binder, and then you hole punch it and you throw it in here. And then the binder is helpful because all these extra things that you have, because you will have vocabulary words, you will have, like I showed you, games and things like that. I just keep them in like baggies or paper clip them and keep them in the pockets of these, and it's super helpful. So I've got a couple little books that came with the space science unit, and I just keep those in the front of the book. Or you could get a little folder. So I have had times where I have this, like a folder like this that I got from Walmart for like 99 cents, and I have kept everything in there. So it depends on, some of the units have more pieces to it than others. So sometimes those are helpful too. Okay, so that was the space science unit, which we absolutely loved. Loved it. It was awesome. Then we also have the human body, which we did. This was really great. We loved it. I was a little nervous that it was going to be boring, but we actually did this in like 2020 when all the dumb stuff in the world was happening with COVID and all that stuff. So it was very neat to be learning about our bodies and how, or maybe, I think it was 2020. Anyway, we did this like during all the COVID-y stuff. And it was neat to learn how our bodies work while we're seeing what's going on around us. So it was very cool timing, I think. So the human body was one. We really loved that. Meteorology is one that we're doing right now and absolutely loving it. This was one that my oldest daughter picked, and we didn't get to it the year that she wanted to do it. So we're doing it this year, and it is so good. It's really fun. We've got all the pieces that go to it, all the workbooks. That is where we keep all the vocabulary words for the unit that we're working on right now. And it's really nice. They call it a science wall, but it's really nice to have everything so we can be like, look up there and tell me what that says or whatever. But the meteorology unit has been really cool and fun. And we're finally, like, they start with like basic weather. They have this weather page that they do. They do one of these every single day that you do. So we only do it once a week or sometimes twice a week. But you do one of these where they have to do the time, the weather. We look up the wind direction, the air temperature, cloud cover, and season and all that. And so that is, it's neat. They've really enjoyed doing all the weather that comes with it. But it starts with like just the basics of weather, talking about seasons, and gets all the way up to the cool stuff now. Now at the end, we just did thunder and lightning. They've got snow, hail, and blizzards, tornadoes, hurricanes, and then forecasting weather is the last unit, but it's really neat. I think it's very detailed. It's a very cool unit. So we really enjoyed that. Another one that I got that I still haven't used. I was planning on using this year, but we didn't. This was the first one I ever got. And it was a free download, which I believe that it's still a free download if you want their marine biology unit, and it is completely free. Did I already say that? Free. Okay. So I had gotten this back when I first kind of discovered the Good and the Beautiful, and I was like, let me just print this out and see what this is like. And I didn't know that they had all those pieces, or maybe I knew, but I thought I could get around to it. So I ordered it. I think I got it downloaded and got it sent somewhere, and then I had them bind it. So when I do it, I'll have to like cut all this stuff out and maybe put a pocket in the back to keep everything. But look at all that color. That's the cool part. There's so much. It's very engaging. There's so much to all their different units. It's really great. And this one's free. So if you're not sure and you want to see what one looks like, just download this and give it a try. Or download it like I did and put it on your shelf, and then get so excited about all the other units that you'll order a bunch of those. And then after you've been doing it for a couple years, then you'll still have this sitting there, and then you'll do this one. You could do that. Okay. All right. So the last one that I have is a little different. I don't see this as a science unit to use for the family. You could, probably depends on the age of your kids, but I love it. So they also have this, it's called Maturation and Sexual Reproduction. So you can use this as a science unit. What I have done, I didn't really want to delve too deep into this to protect my daughter's privacy, but I have done this with one of my daughters and another one. I will be doing this with her soon. I think this is perfect for the talk. This was just awesome. I will tell you, I was very nervous about having the talk. And I knew we were getting close to, we've had some body changes, all the stuff, okay? I'm not going to get into all that, but you know what I'm talking about. Our bodies were changing and we needed to have a talk. So I went ahead and got this. I had looked at it. They actually have the entire unit on their website to see. Like, you can go through and flip and read the entire thing. It is so good. It says everything that you need to say. So what I did, this is how we did it. We own an inn, like an Airbnb, but it's an inn. And so what I did was I blocked off a night for me and my daughter to go over there, and it was a night away, and we ordered pizza, and we had a bunch of junk food, and we went through this just as a mother-daughter thing, and it was so good. It was so perfect. So the things that it talks about, it talks about puberty. It does break up. There's a male section and there's a female section. So if you have a daughter, you don't have to go over the male body parts or the male, all that stuff, how that works. That is up to you. So that's the cool part, is you can pick and choose like what you want to cover, what you don't want to cover. I think some things you might want to cover depending on your child's age. Cover maybe a couple, like most of the stuff here, and then you might want to wait till the next year to cover some of the other stuff, because it talks about some very delicate things. You guys can go look it up, but it is so good, Christ-centered, but it's so easy to teach. And we just went through here. Here's the differences. I mean, it's got female reproductive system, so it's got pictures of everything in here. It also, being Christ-centered for my daughter, I thought it was super cool. It talks about Proverbs 31 woman, the traits of a virtuous woman. But it also has vocabulary words. This is what I didn't do, was I didn't go through and cut out the vocabulary words and like pin them on the board for everyone to see. We went over them and we talked about them, but the vocabulary words that was how I did it, a little different than I do their normal units. But we went through this I think we did like a Friday night. We did a handful of hours of the Friday night, and then we watched a movie or hung out and like talked and watched TV and ate junk. And then the next morning we finished it up and we did the rest of it. So it was easy for me to do in a weekend. Love it. So good. And I really would encourage you, if you're kind of like, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to teach this or what to do at this age. I think if you have two kids that are close together, you could probably teach them together. But I really liked the idea of, because I could have done my two girls together, but I really liked the idea of having them have their own time, so that if they do have questions, they're not embarrassed to ask, or if, you know, whatever, if they had a weird reaction to finding out like, oh, that's what happens, they're not embarrassed because their sister's there. It's just me and her. So it was so good and not awkward at all, which I thought it was going to be, but it was so great. So anyway, I love this, and this was really good. But like I said, we don't do it as a family. It's just a one-on-one thing. So those are the units that we've used. I really feel like there's more, but maybe there's not. I have loved the Good and the Beautiful. I have absolutely loved these science units. And like I said, I think this is something that we're going to continue on, at least with my younger ones. And once my daughter gets into high school, she probably won't do this anymore, but she'd probably love to do it with us. That's what it is. I have one to open in front of you guys. I almost forgot. Let me go grab it. Okay, now for the fun part. I can't believe I almost forgot. So I've got a box. Here's the funny part. We actually are doing a different science next year because we're doing it with our co-op. But I ordered this before I knew what science we were doing. Ordered this because they were having a big sale and I didn't want to miss out, and I knew I would want to do another one of their units. So I went ahead and ordered it. And then we joined this co-op, which I'll talk about in my upcoming what we're doing next year video. But we're actually doing a couple subjects at this co-op. It's a different co-op than we've done before. Anyway, we are, science is one of the ones we're doing there. So they're going to be doing that in a class. And it's actually a different one. But here's the deal. I love this so much. I think we're going to still do this even once a week, I think, at our house. So even though they're doing science at co-op, I still want to do this because it's so good. I'm so excited about the one that I picked. Okay, let me open this. I'm so excited. It was really hard to decide because I just wanted to order one because I wasn't sure how many we do. I was like, let me just get one. Okay. We chose, oh my goodness, this is so cool. Oh, they've changed it. Okay, we chose arthropods. And I don't even know if I told my kids we were doing arthropods, but this looked so cool. So this is actually a 3 to 8 science unit study, which means it may be a little bit above my son, but I still think he'll like to sit in on it because it's bugs, you know? So they actually bound it. They used to, I'd heard that they changed it, but I wasn't sure what the changes were. It used to be like a pack of paper shrink wrapped together, but you get a couple different things. So I'm going to show you. So here is the notebook. So I wonder, okay, so it's got a read aloud. Let's just see. So they go ahead and bind it, but you'll just go through and, oh, that's not the right page. You'll go through and, still not the right page, cut out the vocabulary words. These are full color. No, they were color before. Those are pretty. Okay, I'm so excited about this. So what I got was, this is the teacher book or the, you know, book. I got 2 student journals. I think I'm going to sneeze. Why did I only get 2? Probably should have gotten 3. But anyway, I guess I wasn't sure what I was doing. So I got one. This is the 3 through 6 student journal. And that looked super cool. And then this one is the 7th to 8th. I think my thinking was that I was not going to have my high schooler do this. So this might be just something that I'm going to have my, let's see, 5th grader and 7th grader do this. And then the other 2 will just kind of listen in and have other assignments. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. And then this is the Insects and Arachnids question and answer book. So this, I think, is just something that they read. Look how pretty this is. And this is so affordable. I'll have to look and see how much it was, and I'll put it on the screen here because I don't remember. Look at this little book. I just think they do such a good job with their curriculum. My one daughter is going to hate this unit. She hates spiders and bugs and things like that. But honestly, I thought it would be cool for her to learn. I think if she learns about it, maybe she won't be as afraid. But she also might absolutely hate it, and we will just see. But I think it'll be good to learn about. I think my son's going to really love it too. So that is what I got. So I'm super, super excited about this. I am excited. And so I think this is something we're just going to do once a week throughout the year as just an add-on to our curriculum. But love the Good and the Beautiful. If you have any questions about the Good and the Beautiful science, feel free to ask me, and I will help as I can. But definitely check them out. They're super awesome. Don't forget to subscribe if you are not yet subscribed, because I promise I'm going to have what we're using next year very soon. I've been saying that for a couple weeks and life is so crazy. I haven't had time to finalize everything, but I do have a list and I'm working on it. Having a high schooler is a little daunting. So I just want to make sure that I have all my bases covered and make sure everybody's doing what they need to do. But we will have that soon. So don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. And please like this video. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up if you like this video. And because that's great. And I love it. And I appreciate that. Thanks for being here. I hope you guys have a great day. And I'll see you next time. Bye.